Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Monday, June 22nd, 2015. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Emery, who also serves as Senior Minister and Minister of Nevis Affairs in the Federal Cabinet, was a featured speaker when the Nevis Division of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce held its quarterly luncheon on Thursday, June 18th. The meetings are opportunities for the Chamber's members to have topical issues addressed and to share their view for the way forward for business. Following welcome remarks by Chairman Ernie France, Premier Emery spoke on the topic, Building a Vibrant and Secure Nevis Economy Through New Federal Partnerships.
The federal government, to the Prime Minister, who is the minister responsible for administering the CBI, has embarked upon a freeing up, clearing the bottleneck, so that those developers in Nevis who have had their projects stifled or slowed down because of the bottlenecks which have occurred in the CIU in respect of the CBI, we are seeing now a release of that flow, which will, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of those who are the persons who have struggled with this, we will see a greater inflow of investment money because of this now freeing up and a regard for the Nevis project.
Premier Emery also pointed to the federal government's transfer of $10 million to the Nevis Island administration. The transfer is expected to be used for the construction and equipping of a diagnostic wing at the Alexandra Hospital.
We are looking to upgrade the health service very seriously because that is an important part of providing a security in health for our people. And I noticed that secure Nevis economy, but the health of our country has to be seen as a priority. It is not just creating jobs or increasing the revenue. It is a matter of having a total approach to development, and health is one such aspect of the development of the Nevis economy and of the St. Kitts and Nevis Federation.
He also noted that the removal of value-added tax VAT from food, medicine and funeral expenses has also come out of the National Unity Partnership.
There's a benefit which has already begun to generate itself because of that reduction or removal of VAT on food items. Why? Where we're looking at people who must eat, must be able to provide food for their children, and you're providing restriction of imposing a higher cost on necessary food. It clearly does not do any good either for the individual or for the family or for the country.
The Premier also pointed to the fact that economic growth and development are tied to the need for an environment of peace and security.
We have asked through our partnership with the federal government for a contingent of the army to be stationed in Nevis. There has been a very effective policing between or combination between the police and the army in doing the patrols, and we are expecting that we shall see a reduction, if not a total eradication, of criminal activity in Nevis.
Premier Emery said the government pledges to do what it takes to ensure that the security of citizens and visitors remain its priority. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation and Nevis's Deputy Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, was the keynote speaker at the Caribbean Association of North Alabama's Caribbean American Heritage Gala on Saturday evening. The purpose of the event was to celebrate the contributions of Caribbean Americans and the strong relationship between the United States and the Caribbean. Prior to the gala, Minister Brantley met with members of the association in a breakfast meeting where a number of issues critical to the development of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean were discussed. One of the highlights of the event was the awarding of military personnel of Caribbean pedigree serving or who has served in the U.S. military. The association also used the occasion to announce that scholarships will be offered to students of Caribbean lineage pursuing a tertiary education from a North Alabama institution. Organizers hope that the event will not only serve as a symbol of U.S. and Caribbean unity, but also as a launchpad for Caribbean leaders to initiate networking and a trade relationship with key Alabama entities. Other officials from Caribbean islands, including the Consulate of the Islands of Trinidad and Tobago, were in attendance. Some 4 Nevisians were among more than 50 regional media and communications persons who attended a climate change workshop last week. The 2-day training session, which took place at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel and was sponsored by the OECS RAC program, sought to develop an effective program to communicate climate change issues to the various audiences in the region. The particular project, which has been in operation since 2011, focuses on tourism and agricultural issues as it relates to climate change. During his presentation, Dale Rankin, one of the resource persons, explained some of the possible issues facing the region.
Of course, when we have more intense hurricanes, it certainly does have a greater impact on the offerings that we do have. Certainly we have more beach erosion, we have the loss of use of our infrastructure, and that certainly does impact our tourism product. But also we're seeing, for example, sea level rise as well, and that is certainly causing losses of our beach areas, which is a significant product in our tourism offering. So that certainly is something that is quite interesting. But there's another thing that is also happening as well. Our tourism sector significantly benefits from winter tourism. And certainly when the northern hemisphere or the more northerly countries are having warmer winters.
Rankin says warmer winters delay the start of the tourism season for the Caribbean region, thus affecting the economies of the countries. The agriculture sector too is facing a crisis as it is affecting the food security of the islands.
We have, in the Caribbean region, we have actually seen certainly high rainfall variability. So there are some years when you do have droughts, other years when you have flooding, that's significantly impacting on our crop yields in a significant way. We're also seeing landslides as well, and that is also impacting on how our land area actually can produce and can sustain productivity over a long period of time, and that is also another challenge. Of course, in respect of increasing temperatures as well, that's another challenge because there are some crops that are not as heat tolerant as others, and therefore that is also impacting on our climate change, on our agriculture sector in particular.
Rankin pointed out that the region's contribution to climate change is minuscule. However, the region and other small island developing countries are the first to be negatively affected.
We have to do adaptation. That adaptation really is about taking actions that, one, either reduce the negative impacts or take advantage of any benefits that come from climate change. Those are things that we have to do. There's some basic things that we can do. For example, if we're looking at agriculture, we can start looking at growing more drought-tolerant crops. We can start looking at investing in crops that have heat tolerance, for example. For tourism, we can start diversifying our tourism product. Not just looking at sun, sea and sand, but cultural tourism, heritage tourism. These are practical steps that we can take. Look at energy, for example. We can start looking at investing in alternative forms of energy, right? Which, by the way, will certainly improve our own energy security.
The RAC program, which seeks to rally the region to action on climate change, is expected to come to a close in September of this year. Coming up, Department of Education launches 2015 Prospective Teachers course. The details after this break.
I always think of her, but then I always think of him too. He should have never forced himself on her. Help us stop the madness. If you know it, tell it. Tell 1-800-8477-TIPS.
Especially for the country, I'm a ladies. The nice Nevis girl living on. It's sweet. Ladies, you ready? Come show me that you're ready.
Welcome back. The Department of Education today officially opened its 2015 Prospective Teachers Training course under the theme Advancing Holistic Education for All through Positive Expectations, Collaboration and Accountability. The two-week course, which will run until July 3rd, will prepare 25 participants for possible placement as teachers and also foster a love for the profession. While delivering remarks at the ceremony, Coordinator Adina Taylor challenged the participants to be passionate and proactive teachers.
This 2 weeks journey, it aims at empowering, motivating, inspiring, and turning you on to become dynamic teachers. I challenge you to be passionate. Don't be afraid to be proactive. Ask questions. Actively participate and give it your all.
Also present was Principal Education Officer Palsy Wilkin, who outlined the expectation the Ministry of Education has for each participant.
Through this exciting workshop and presentations, we hope that you will get excited about teaching and that you would foster a love for teaching, because over the next 2 weeks, we will be observing you. We will be looking for that passion which we expect that you will have for working with children, and that you will go to great lengths to make sure that they all succeed.
Assistant Secretary in the Premier's Ministry, Kevin Barrett, reminded the participants of the importance of teaching and urged them to take it seriously.
You have to be mindful that when you get into the classroom, that you would be handling the most valuable and the most delicate resource that the nation has. The most valuable and the most delicate resource that the nation has. That is our children. And it is going to be a monumental task. But if you're up to it, I'm certain you're going to do a good job. You are in an environment where you're shaping the minds of our young children. And you could break them or you could make them. Teaching is a serious, serious task that I want you to take very, very seriously.
The opening ceremony concluded with Barrett officially declaring the course open. The objectives of hosting the training is to allow participants to understand the structure and role of the education system, interact with the rudiments of learning and teaching, employ and develop communication skills in writing, speaking, and work preparation, and provide a panoramic view of the theories and practices in education. The first fashion show for the Culturama 41 was held last evening at Caribbean Cove, where this year's Miss Culture, Miss Swimwear and Mr. Cool participants modeled various outfits from local designers, namely Kiwidan Couture, V-Wear, Frisky's Fashion Designs, Ziki's Designs and Greenhouse Production. The fashion show, which started late Sunday evening, saw hosts Noah Mills and Alice Tyson describing the outfits while the contestants modeled on the well-decorated stage in front of an intimate crowd.
I remember a long time ago when we had fashion shows, but you needed to go to the store to buy the outfits for the contestants.
Now we have our own designers.
Isn't it a great opportunity and a great accomplishment that the designers are coming from St. Kitts and Nevis?
Here are some excerpts of the Culturama 41 fashion show dubbed Here Meets There.
Again, all of the contestants for the swimwear and the Miss Culture 2015 pageant. Welcome them as Romaine Mills, Richely Gums, Arundel Dorr, Delville Mills, and Javon Romney.
Yeah, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking hummingbirds, we're talking splish, splash, and splatter. And what's also beautiful is the use of colors, a kaleidoscopic array of colors. We have blues and yellows and grays, and we have greens and browns, and of course we have the designer.
Yes, the designer is Petal Newton of Frisky Designs.
Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. for Miss Newton from Frisky's Designs.
Excellent work. And they're the Culture Queen pageant contestants along with the swimwear contestants. And here comes Mr. Vaughn Anson himself of V-Wear Design. These are all the contestants of the swimwear and the Miss Culture Queen pageant contestants. Please give it up for them. They're doing an excellent job. They're wearing the
Carvel Mills of Ziki's Designs asked 2 questions about her label, and the 2 members of the audience who answered correctly were presented with 2 locally made clutch bags from her fashion line. The next Culturama 41 fashion show will take place on Sunday, July 12th at Caribbean Cove at 5 p.m. Meantime, today at the NIA's legal department, the 16 contestants signed contracts which outline their obligations to the Nevis Culturama Committee and the committee's obligations to the contestants. Kandor Freeman is the chair of the Senior Pageants Committee.
We're here this morning at Legal Department and we are doing the signing of the contracts for all the contestants, all the participants as well. We have here this morning the Mr. Cool who are going first, and they also will be getting their sponsorships funds this morning so they can start actually preparing themselves for the show upcoming. So guys, welcome. Congratulations again.
The contracts cover issues such as finance, disposition, and sponsorship. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes saying thank you for viewing. Good night.